Welcome to the Motormouth YouTube channel. I'm Zach.
I'm Andrea.
And we do full-length car reviews each and every week. Halfway through, we stop for a segment called Questions, Coffee, and Cars, and we spun it off into its own thing. We're now at episode 31, and how do you play along?
Well, follow along on Instagram at Motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday, I put a post out at 7 a.m. Pacific time. We're both holding our coffees. Once we gather all of our questions, I delete the post and we start the show.
Big news.
Time now for Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
The big news is we're going twice a week for Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
You requested it. You wanted it. We'll give it a shot.
So we're going to try it anyway on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yes.
But they're going to be a little shorter. Okay, so not one long one, two shorter ones, but twice a week. You get it.
Yeah.
Let's get into it, Andrea. Your questions from Instagram.
I believe GM has a winner with the Trax, loaded with standard equipment, aggressive advertising on social media, available stock, lower financing rates, appealing to people on a budget, and need a practical, good-looking car. I predict the updated Trax and other GM products on the same platform will move off dealer lots.
They already
could
are.
have done a review here.
Yeah, I think you just
so
did a review. Absolute winner. Now,
Winner.
we talked about this during the video, but it didn't make the video. So we go through our list of top 10 cars for the year. And I think just this is my vote. We each obviously get a vote. We actually wrestle to decide which cars.
We duke it out.
Which cars get on the top 10 list, which will come out Christmas Day.
We love doing those.
Yeah, we wear the Santa hats and everything.
Yeah.
I think Trax is going to make the list.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just such a wonderful, affordable option. Look, it's not a powerhouse, but that's not what it's for. It's a daily driver to get you from A to B. Chevy has done such a great job with the interior, and we actually found the power to be pretty good. When you kick that thing on the highway, yeah, the torque is good.
This is the perfect car for the times. We are living in basically a cost crisis.
Yeah.
People are struggling to buy groceries. They're struggling with rent. Interest rates are high for buying homes. People are looking for a deal, and there aren't many deals in the car industry. There's a few nuggets.
Yeah.
And the Trax comes out, and every single one of these cars in the United States is under 25 grand.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they're selling like hotcakes.
And a salesperson contacted me from a dealership. He works for Chevy, and he just said we can't keep them in stock. The minute they come in, they're out the door. Just tells you, right? That price point is so important to people.
It's the right car for the times.
The thing I've noticed is the pricing that you and Zach give is way different than what is actually is. Why is that? Or are all the dealers ripping people off? Which actually wouldn't surprise me. You are not wrong. We give, in the US, MSRP, and in Canada, it now includes freight, PDI, AC, taxes, and any sort of levies.
Okay, so they actually advertise it. So the freight, the PDI, the $100 air conditioning tax, and they give a round number for, which is included in the price, for dealer documentation. Now, some brands it's up around $700, $800. Other brands is like $400, $500. But anyway, it's advertised, and that's why the prices seem to have gone up so much by a couple of $1,000s. But then the dealers can do another dirty, Andrea. They can actually do a dealer price.
Yep.
And basically, once they say it's their price, not MSRP, they're allowed to sell it for that.
They're allowed to do that. I mean, we're even seeing models, they're putting, 100 kilometers on them, and then they're selling them for a lot more money as well. I mean, it's really crummy. I mean, we just talked about the Trax and the affordability of the Trax, and the time that we're in. And then because of inventory shortages, dealerships, not all dealerships, let's not paint them all with the same brush, but many dealerships are doing that, and it's a real shame.
One other thing we haven't seen trickle through the system yet is the ongoing UAW strike against the domestic 3. So now back to the Trax. That comes from Korea.
Yeah,
It's not made by the UAW members in the U.S. So that's a vehicle.
Hopefully, we'll be okay there. Yeah.
Get it.
Are sedans officially dead? I wouldn't say that all sedans are officially dead. When you see the Honda Accord Hybrid, that is more popular than other sedans. the Toyota Camry hybrid. I think if they have some form of electrification, they do quite well. Look at the Prius.
Yeah, that's back to a
Right?
car.
Yeah.
There's winners and losers in every category. And what we've seen is a whole bunch of losers, meaning they've pulled out of the sedan market. So
Yeah.
the domestic manufacturers, they're pretty much all gone. So what you have are the big players are still ongoing. So that's the Civic, the Corolla, the Elantra, and others. So that's
Yeah.
the compact. And then in the midsize, it's Camry and Accord, and then everybody else is way below.
Yeah.
So there are winners, and they're still selling, but all of the losers are all gone now.
And more people are looking at crossovers. They want to sit up a bit higher, not so low to the ground, say they're a little bit older and have some mobility issues. It's just easier to get in and out of the vehicle. And really, that's why crossovers and SUVs have become so popular, because sedans offer a lot of space, actually.
Yeah, they have a lot of rear seat legroom and good trunk
Yes.
space. So back to the Trax. It's not going to be the whole Trax show. Well, it might be. I don't know. The Trax really is, if you think about it, it's just a compact car that's being raised up in a hatchback. That's what it is. But
Yeah.
that's what people want. It's
That's what they
really, if you think about it, at its essence, it really is just a front-wheel drive sedan.
And you look at all of these electric vehicles that have come out, from the EV6 to the Ioniq 5, and they sit lower to the ground. They don't have the ground clearance, especially like the Mach-E. I think it has 5.7 inches of ground clearance, compared to, regular size SUVs, like something like the RAV4
Or the
with
Escape, yeah.
8.3 inches, right? So that's why crossovers and SUVs are so popular. Love the looks and obviously the interior of the CX-5. Tell me why Mazda can't seem to have the buying power such as Toyota has. Is it because of reliability? They seem to put out a great product.
You mean sales, not buying, but sales.
Yeah, I think just the popularity, right, of something like the RAV4. I think that the CX-5, especially in Vancouver, is super popular. I see them everywhere. It's priced well. You've got a couple powertrain options, but the RAV4 has 3 powertrain options, and 2 of those are electrified, and that makes a big difference for people.
All right, so here's a fun stat. Biggest market share for Mazda is home market, where it's named Matsuda. In Canada, it's the second biggest market shares in the province of Quebec. You go to Quebec, those things are everywhere. They have a real love affair with that brand. And so, yeah, they just are not a big company like Toyota. They're just not making 10 million cars a year, but their market share in key markets is still very strong.
And the CX-5 is very reliable. It's one of those vehicles that has been around for a long time. Mazda has tweaked it to make it better. And anybody who buys the CX-5 loves it. From when I hear from them, whether they get the 2.5T or the non-turbo engine, and the vehicle has been reliable for them. What's one car you wish you got to review but haven't had a chance yet? What would be your
I
pick?
was invited to go to drive the Carrera GT on the track at Mosport, which is now the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, with all of the Porsche drivers. And when you go on a Porsche racetrack event, they have world-class current and former Porsche factory drivers. And I couldn't make it. You know why?
That's too bad. Somebody's birthday?
No. A baby was going to be born. Jack.
Our son.
Yeah, our first son. So,
Gosh, that was a long time ago.
yeah, Carrera GT, I missed out on that one.
Vehicle for me, and we don't even get it in Canada. I would love to drive the Audi RS3. I think that the A3,
especially with the manual.
Yeah, I think that the A3 is just an absolute ton of fun for what it is. And so I would love to drive the RS3 maybe one day when we're in the US. And then I'm also waiting on the Alfa Romeo Tonale.
Yeah, we're getting it in a few weeks.
So I can't wait for that.
So by the way, all those people that lament the loss of the Volkswagen Golf, it lives on as an Audi A3.
Yeah.
It's the same platform.
Yeah, true.
Same engines, similar engines anyway. So there you go.
I have a big question, and I'm not sure you may be able to answer it or not. Let's say you bought a gas vehicle, 2024, and keep it for maybe 10 years, and then you decide in 2034 to buy a vehicle, by then it will be completely electric. What will happen if you trade the gas vehicle for an electric value-wise then?
Oh,
Interesting question, hey?
I'm a contrarian on this one.
I know you are.
So what we've seen in the last 2 weeks is, I'll give you the UK as an example. The Conservative government has rolled back their ambitious plan to go full EV by 2030. They were out of step with the rest of the world. Canada's 2035. We've heard that from other G7 countries. So they've pushed it back to 2035. And they were going to ban what they call petrol and diesel. And what we're starting to see, I think, is we're going to see people hoarding unique and different cars. Now, my thing is, I think good quality used gas and diesel cars or hybrids or whatever are going to be worth more, not less.
Yeah, and I think even plug-in hybrids, like say you were to buy a RAV4 plug-in hybrid or even a Tucson Sportage plug-in hybrid. I think that I just don't think we're going to be there 100%.
Not a chance.
So I don't think that your gas model is going to be worth a ton less, and it actually may be worth more because they're not going to be producing as many and they may be hard to get. Who knows? Maybe when you decide to buy that new vehicle and you get into the pure electric vehicle, will there be a massive difference? We'll see.
There's a lot of variables here. First of all, are they going to tax the hell out of gasoline to the point where you just can't afford to run a gas car anymore? And it's only going to be rich people with fun toys like a Carrera GT that you're going to be able to go out and have some fun, beat on it and have some fun. So that's part of the equation. Our government's going to do that. I don't think they're going to do that because that's just too punishing on people who can't afford EVs.
Yeah.
And the other thing is this race to electrification. Well, we're going to switch to EV. It's easy, they say. Well, we're starting to see there's resistance.
Yeah.
The prices are high.
Too high.
And they're not including plug-ins and hybrids in that full EV thing, by the way.
No.
And so, yeah, it's just basically fantasy stuff that we're going to get rid of. Basically 100, well, we can't use the emerging markets, but say even just for North America, you're talking about 25 million cars between Canada, US, and Mexico.
Yeah.
With all EV in the next 10 years, basically. I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay, I have a really great question for you guys that I'll throw at you. Type below. What if you buy an EV today instead of that gas model?
I'm driving my EV, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm driving along. What's the question, Andrea?
And in 2034,
Okay, wow.
you want to trade
I still look great.
You want to trade in. Just ask him. He'll tell you.
No, I'm just saying.
Great.
We're playing. It's pretend.
Okay, it's pretend.
It's 2034, and I still look the same.
You want to
I like this game, Andrea.
Okay, so you want to go and buy another EV in 2034, which is probably going to have more range.
Yes, it's going to have more of everything.
It might be priced less. Let's say the prices come down. We don't know, right?
Probably not.
And it has more power. What do you think your EV today will be worth?
These are very good questions, Andrea.
I know, right?
Well,
Type below. Tell me what you think.
I have a real problem. One of the things I always point out to people is there are very few second-generation EVs.
I think I need some popcorn here, too.
There's really only a few second-generation EVs. Most of them are all still on their very first generation.
Totally.
Even the Tesla Model S that came out over 10 years ago is really still its first generation.
Yeah.
There was a second generation EV that came out. I guess the Bolt was updated.
Yeah.
That's still really but we're kind of on the first generation.
Think of one.
Yeah, and so that's the issue. The next generation will be better, and the generation after that will be better. So you're right. Maybe these early adopters are going to get stung with cars that are not worth that much.
I don't know. You tell us. Hi, guys.
I just like the idea. I look the same in 10 years.
How about that, Zach?
I love it.
Life is good, isn't
Can we
it?
get that time machine? I like that time machine.
I'd like that time machine too. Hi guys, love your channel. Thank you so much. I heard the iStop system is standard on the non-turbo 2024 CX-5 models. Does it actually benefit fuel economy or because of regulations? You are right.
Is iStop,
it is standard now. It's a start-stop
auto
technology.
start. I was going to say, why don't they just call it that? Why come up with a goofy name?
I don't know. They like their iStop. Like,
Dumb.
they all have their things things.
Auto
even with
start
their,
stop.
Even with their driver assist technology.
You know what?
Right?
This has been called a steering wheel forever. This is a brake pedal forever. We have an integrated mobility device.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's a steering wheel. All
Can
right.
you imagine if we had to say that?
I know, it'd be so
Integrated
stupid.
mobility device. Okay, so first off, you're right. It is standard, and some people aren't happy about that. Like, they're really ticked
The big
off.
question is, can you turn it off? Well, we have it
Yes.
parked down the street. We could go and try it.
No,
So
you can.
You can turn it off.
You can turn it off, but of course, with that sort of technology, you shut the car off and you get back in. It's back on again, right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
It's not a permanent shut off.
It's not the default.
But you can do it. So a study by the Society of Automotive Engineers shows that these systems, although they can be annoying depending on the calibration of the system, they do save fuel. They can see a vehicle's fuel improve by over 8% in heavy traffic, and they say that really adds up over time.
I'm so used to driving with these systems, Andrea. I'm pretty numb to it. There's a few times you get in a new car and it's like it's herky-jerky, and when it comes on and it's like, oh, I don't like that. There was one that was so aggressive switching it off all the time. I can't remember, it was about a month ago that I did switch it off regularly. But most of the time, I don't even think about it.
No, me either. I think that sometimes if there are systems that are slightly annoying, like some are more intrusive than others, I might notice it and say, gosh, I got to shut this off. We
Okay,
didn't
Andrea,
shut it off.
we did say at the beginning these were going to be shorter.
Yes.
So you get one more question.
Okay, I don't know yet. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
No,
8,
for the next show.
9, 10. Okay, we can do another one.
We're doing one more.
Gosh, we get so many questions and they're all so good.
That's why
Thank
you have to watch every episode. See if
Yes.
your question's answered.
Okay, love your channel. What's the most disappointment you felt when testing out a new car? Cool question.
Well, that was the Jeep Compass last year. Remember? I'm just waiting. I'm just pause. I'm going to play it for you. Mash it. Go, go. Still noisy.
Well, it's noisy, but it's also slow. But look, when I get up to regular speed, it's golden.
Hit it.
Hasn't changed. It's still the same.
It hasn't changed. That's gold.
Yep.
Did you hear that, Andrea?
I don't think Jeep was happy with us. I shouldn't say that. They never said anything.
Well, but you know,
sure, they weren't impressed.
But you know what they
right?
did? They ditched that old Tiger Shark engine and they actually put in a 2-liter.
They did it because of us.
Turbo, yeah, all
you
because
know?
of Andrea and I, of course, were that powerful. But they got rid of that engine. That was noisy, and they got rid of it and went with a better engine. So I think they knew it was a turd.
I think so.
Right.
So for me, it's not like one particular thing in a vehicle. So when we hear about a new vehicle coming, I get super excited about it. Oh my gosh, this is going to be great for the market. I can't wait to get in it. I can't wait to drive it. And then like things like a 3-row SUV, it disappoints me when I can't get a bench seat and captain's chairs on every trim. Or I get in the vehicle and I think it's going to be amazing because I saw the pictures and it doesn't drive and handle the way I like. The steering is too light or the interior has too much piano black. I mean, I just think that there's certain things that maybe you get your hopes
There's
up
really-
for our viewers
There's
that
really
are
no
interested in buying the product.
Perfect car, right? Like there's
No.
always something about it that you go,
Price,
they
maybe.
could have done that or they could have done this. There's very few. And when you get them, they're usually really expensive from fancy brands.
So I would say that it's not one particular thing or one car. It's just the disappointment that a manufacturer could have done
Just say
a
it, Andrea.
better job.
It was the Compass. Come on.
The Compass was a problem.
All right, so if you want to get a question in, it's Sunday morning, 7 a.m. Pacific. How do you do
Yeah,
it?
follow along on Instagram, motormouth_Andrea. The post is up for a short time and then it's deleted once we have all our questions. And that's it. 2 questions, coffee and cars a week. Stay tuned Tuesdays and Fridays on the Motormouth YouTube channel.
Nice.
Yeah.